Hi everyone and welcome to Learn Accountancy. For accountant in the business environment, the lecture 3 will be about business ethics. So in this session we will be learning about how ethics affect the way people work, apply the concept of ethics to business activities, understand the environment in which ethical decisions are made, evaluate ethics in accountants' working life. So let's start with the session. What is ethics, first of all? Concerned with the study of morality and the rules which govern the practices that are considered to be importantly right or wrong and the values to which the activities relate. In businesses, it can be studied as a business ethics that seeks to explore the implications of general ethics for the conduct of the business. It rejects the view that the business of business is business, or that moral principles have no bearing on business. So, in simple words, in our normal life also, we always come across ethical decisions, and that is how exactly it happens in the business as well. So, for example, imagine you are crossing a road and you saw a blind person as well next to you crossing the road. So, it's up to you now whether or not you want to help the person cross the road. If you do so, also will be considered good, and if you avoid it, ignore and go, will also make no harm. So, ethics is more about individuals thinking about right and wrong, what is morally accepted or not, may be accepted for one, may not be accepted for other. So basically, we're going to learn about ethics because ethics is an important aspect of a business. In day-to-day business activities, there are areas where ethics is very important to understand. What is the complication with ethics? Can companies be treated as individuals to dictate their activities as right or wrong? If not, then what allowances should be made? Can the subject be seen as relating to the conduct of employees as individual in business? So why is there more stress on ethics? What went wrong? Collapse of Lehman Brothers and financial crisis of 2008. In that case, there was an absence of insufficient details and absence of an intuitive sense of right and wrong in a business and public affairs. And there were several other factors like Enron collapse, WorldCom collapse. You can consider this as your assignment to do a research a little bit on it. And you will understand why ethics is very important, especially in accounting sector. So there are conflicting views that we will have a look now. First one is a shareholder centered view. This basically explains that the social responsibility of a business is to make as much money as possible for the shareholders, okay, within the law and the rules for the game. And it's right also. Basically, people who have invested money, they want their money back, right? And they want it double and triple. So this view basically focuses on that if the individuals who are investing in the business and they are getting their money back, and that should be the first priority of the business as long as it falls within the government and law rules and policies. Whereas the stakeholder view is a little bit wider and broader, and it discusses about the existence of an implicit or explicit contract between the business and the community. So the interdependence between society and the business cannot be overstated. So basically, this view focuses more about the wider community rights over the organization. So when discussing about ethics, business organizations have two things to consider. First of all, the purpose of the organization and its strategy, and what it is trying to achieve while competing with other businesses. To know more about this, there is a video link that will be added to the resources of this session. So that brings us to two theoretical approaches to ethics, which are very, very important to understand. The first one is deontological, which basically explains that goodness or badness is evident in the action itself, whereas the second one, theological, consequentialist, basically judge actions by its outcomes. The greatest good for the greater number is an example of utilitarianism theory. So no simple and universal answer is available in making ethical choices. However, it is possible to cultivate ethical awareness among employees so that the different perspective may help to shed light on the particular dilemma. Think of examples of ethical issues that a multinational technology company might have to face and make notes and then see the next slide. For example, you can see now what are the possible things that can lead to ethical dilemmas. For example, hacking the devices, purely unethical. Driverless zip cars, 3D printing, adaptation to climate change, low quality and counterfeit pharmaceuticals, autonomous systems, data collection and privacy. Ethical investment issues could be something like alcohol. Should you basically deal and do business in alcohol, since it's not considered as good health activity? Tobacco, gambling, weapons, animal testing, all these can be considered as an ethical investment issues. Then comes organizational ethics. So influences on ethics is practiced by a number of organizations. For example, personal ethics for staff, organizational culture, examples set by senior staff, treatment of ethics and professional bodies such as ACCA. Now you can see on this slide that there are various factors which basically contribute to the ethical practices in an organization. So three approaches to organizational ethics can be seen here. First of all, it should be based on compliance. For example, legal rules and policies and regulations. It is based on integrity and whistleblowing. Now, many of you may not know about whistleblowing. So, have a look at whistleblowing, and then the result can be seen in the notes below. Professional ethics can be divided in these 5 areas, and this is basically fundamental principles which are provided by professional bodies, such as integrity. To be, consistent and to basically follow the moral values of oneself. Objectivity means to be straightforward and honest in dealing. Professional competence and due care means to regularly update your knowledge and skills in any particular area and to provide your clients with an updated service. Confidentiality means to keep the information acquired as a result of a business to be confidential. Professional behavior means to be acting professionally in all material aspects so as to not to discredit the profession. There are some personal qualities also which accountants must follow. For example, reliability, responsibility, taking the ownership, timeliness, cost and impact of delays, trying to cope up with the deadlines, courtesy, colleagues and clients, Be respectful. Independence, being and appear to be independent, that means free from biasness. Skepticism, questioning information and data. Accountability for decisions. For the decisions that they have made, the individual should be held accountable as well. Social responsibility to employer and public. So that's the end of our ethics session. Now I'm sure you must have some of your thoughts which you can drop in the chat box below. Thank you all.